Hi, my Elevate Digital Marketing friends. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about a personal journey of mine. So let's take a second. Now, I live on the West Coast and I quit my job after COVID. I mustered up the strength, the resilience, the courage. See, I'd only traveled to a state beyond me, Arizona, Nevada, Oregon. I've never traveled more than that. Now, my dog had a fit. I swear my dog knew English. Now, if you've got a dog, put down below what kind of breed your dog is and tell me if you think your dog understands English, because I swear mine did. When I said I was traveling without her, she literally did not get up and out of her bed. I thought she had died. So then I go to her and she growls at me like she's never growled before. And I said, "Do you want to go on the trip?" Up she popped and down the stairs she went to go get her food. She'd never done that before. I swear she knew English. So instead of flying across the United States, I wound up driving across the United States. I packed up my car, my little Subaru Forester, all-wheel drive, and got myself going. I packed up enough food for her, emergency food for me, and I started driving. And I saw how far I needed to drive each day. That was my little milestones to get to my end goal, which was Boston, Massachusetts. Each step along the way, each day gave me a new surprise. I liked New Mexico. I had flown into Albuquerque before, but when I actually drove across the border from Arizona to New Mexico, those of you who have seen what I have seen, it's like the most spectacular place I've ever seen in the United States. If you ever get a chance, I'm not going to state what I saw. It's still magical, and I've done the trip now 3 times. Every time I see it, it's just magical. So, thrill number 1. Then I decided I'm in New Mexico. I want to see Santa Fe. Everybody talks about Santa Fe. Okay, I'm going to take an extra day. Let's go see Santa Fe. Off my goals I went, right? It's not being on track. This time I'm going to make a little diversion. But still, I knew I had to get to Boston by the end of the week. So I pivoted, went and had an adventure in Santa Fe, which was fabulous. And then pivoted to go back, got back on track, maybe had to spend a few extra hours to catch up, like earlier in the morning, later at night, but I still stayed on track. I got to see things I never saw. I got to experience the states and understand why the border is where it is, because you go from the flatland to Texas into the rolling hills of Oklahoma. Or how about going into Arkansas too? I got to see this gorgeous forest of all these beautiful trees. I went into Tennessee. Oh my gosh, that's a dense forest. Went and saw a friend there. Spent a day with her. And then continued on. Saw Ohio. And I cannot even tell you all the different states to get Connecticut and different things. It was an amazing adventure that I never would have done or ventured to do if I didn't feel like I could and muster up the courage. And after I hit that adventure, I knew I could. So goal setting and knowing I had to be there by Saturday kept me propelling forward. But as you see, I did 2 big detours, Santa Fe and saw my friend. And with those detours, I still had enough time to get there. So when you look at your 12-week goal and you say, how am I going to get there? What about a detour? Detours are part of the process. They might even be part of the fun. So let's dive into some of those big goal settings. Here we go. So as I stated not long ago, we packed up our life. We moved from the West Coast to the East Coast and then to Michigan. I thought I was chasing a new experience, but really what I was realizing is I had found a bigger dream in my life. I realized I wanted to return to something that had always fired me up, which was being a small business owner. But this time, I didn't want to reach these goals on my own. I wanted to pair up with other entrepreneurs. I didn't want the hard way. I wanted something that would help me reach my goals faster, with a powerful system and strategies, and now with the power of AI. So today we're diving into one of the biggest game changers for staying consistent. Planning your goals directly onto your calendar and having somebody hold you accountable. So let's talk about how we can utilize the digital age. Now, if you're old school, you'll want your calendar. I would suggest using your calendar that you put up in the kitchen or somewhere where you can see it daily, as well as a daily planner that'll help you stay on track. For those that are much more digitally minded, you can set this up with any of the digital calendars that you can find that will link up to your cell phone as well as your computer. So here we go. The secret weapon is putting it on your calendar. So have you ever wondered what's the difference between a dream and actually living out your dreams? It's about putting it on the calendar. So pull out that calendar once again. Don't let those dreams stay stuck in your head. Let's get those dreams accomplished on your calendar with a little to-do list to make sure that you're checking off the marks that you're setting for yourself. So if you think of my idea of a road trip, okay, I knew each day where I was supposed to be in the United States. Those were my mini goals. Now, to reach that, I did a few detours. That was okay. I didn't go straight across. I wanted to go see a friend in Tennessee. So to do that, it did not take my directest route. I actually had to kind of dive down through Arkansas to get into Tennessee. So another little detour. But knowing that ahead of time, I can plan around that. So maybe you've got some other things. Maybe you've got a summer vacation coming up. You need to plan around that. That's okay. Detours happen. But keep that vision and that dream ahead of you, and you'll see the success. So when you schedule those tasks, when they get a time and a place on that calendar, then it becomes very real, crystal clear. Your calendar is your commitment device, as well as if you need an accountability partner. We can do that for you too. It tells your brain, this matters, and we're gonna get it done now. Plus, syncing your weekly tactics into your calendar keeps that overwhelm at bay. It's not this big dream, it's in manageable steps to get there. Think about climbing up that hill again. You just take it step by step as far as you can see. Stop there and then take a break and see where you need to pivot. Do we need to pivot and get back on course? So my trip to Santa Fe, totally out of the blue. I'm going north when I really needed to go east. Okay, totally different direction, right? But I really wanted that adventure. So I decided to pivot north. It was an hour and a half out of my way. That was okay. I spent the day. Did a little daydreaming there, and then pivoted back and got back down to Albuquerque by that night and kept on driving as far as I could till I needed to sleep. So I got myself back on track. Now, I was a few hours behind, but that was okay. I knew I could make it up the next day. So do you see these little pivots? It's okay. It doesn't mean that we need to get overwhelmed with this whole list. We break it down into manageable chunks. We can take our detours, live life, and give ourselves back on track. So, before we do anything else, make sure you're syncing your weekly tactics on your calendar. This keeps you from being overwhelmed, and it breaks that big vision into bite-sized, time-bound steps, right? Each baby step along the way. So you can use AI. Now, I hope you've already used like GPT chat to set up those weekly goals, those little other steps in between, and the tasks that you need to do. So now that you have all that information from your own mind or GPT chat, let's take this next step. So whether you're using Google Calendar, Notion, or another digital planner, you'll see how easy it is to add these tasks as events and reminders. Pro tip, use your calendar blocks, right? With the digital agents, you can set out 30 minutes, an hour to complete a task. Maybe you have 3 tasks to complete each day to keep propelling you forward. Okay, are they 30 minutes or 1 hour tasks? And if so, you can set the alarm on your calendar to sync up with your phone, and now your phone becomes your reminder to get to those tasks. Now, I highly recommend that even though you set an hour and maybe you need an hour and 15, finish that task up to the point where you can say, okay, I'm now done. Get into your next task. Don't spend all 3 hours on the same task if you haven't broken up. You did it for a reason, to keep propelling you forward. So, pro tip, just keep that momentum going that you see you need to do. Next, you can always use the reoccurring events for habits or ongoing tasks. No need to reschedule every single week. Okay, I need to get to the gym at 5 a.m. I'm going to set my alarm for 4:30 to get myself up, drive to the gym. Okay, so I can say on my early mornings, like the mornings that I don't have to do another or a commitment, I get myself up, and those mornings are my weekly reminders. So every Wednesday, I'm up at 4:30. Every Thursday, I'm up at 4:30. Every Saturday, I'm up at 4:30 to get to the gym early. See how you can use it if you know your schedule? And that's how you can keep consistent with some of those priorities in your life and your goals that you're trying to reach, whether it's personal, professional, or physical. So next, don't forget to add these alerts and notifications. That's why I love the digital one. So you can still use the old school calendar. I highly recommend it because sometimes it's easier. But here's another pro tip. How about grabbing a few sticky notes, put your goals, then stick it on the calendar and rearrange it until you see how you like it flowing. Because maybe you've got a goal that might last 2 weeks and you don't want it interfering with the other goals. So figure out how you see these goals actually, happening first on the calendar before you add it to your digital planner. Or, if you're still old school, your daily calendar, your daily, what is it called? Daily planner. So however you want to do it, just kind of play around with the ideas first before totally implementing them. So remember, your calendar is a tool to utilize. It's not a cage. Life happens. Priorities shift sometimes, and that's okay. The key is to check in regularly, move tasks around if needed, and adjust your plan with intention. The AI reminders and progress tracking, you'll stay in sync and avoid overwhelm, and it's about working smarter, not harder. By syncing your goals to your calendar, especially on your cell phone, you can build unstoppable momentum by setting those reminders and alarms to keep reminding you to keep moving forward. Stay tuned into your vision. Get a vision board, get a picture of whatever that vision is so that you can remind yourself daily what that end goal is and why you want to accomplish it. Stay laser focused and avoid the overwhelm with some bite-sized pieces to get there. So this way you can stay on track and get to that goal. So here's the simple, powerful action step. 1, use AI like GPT Chat to generate your weekly tasks to get that goal accomplished for the week. 2, block time in your digital calendar for each task. That way you've got the little alarm reminding you to hit that task. Next, check your calendar every morning, your vision board, and commit to your plan. and your appointments so that you keep what's most important to you, your goals, forefront of your mind. We're not just planning, we're owning our time because time slips away. Either we utilize it in a very productive way or we don't. It's up to you. But I'd like to see myself moving forward in a year from now, wouldn't you? So owning your time, your goals, and your success is all about time management. And with AI on your side, I'm hoping this shows you how much easier it can be. The journey just got easier and more exciting because now you've got real help to get you there. So open up that calendar, make the plan. Let's make this week a productive one. See you next week. Bye for now.